Before we get into the round 100, guys, we are doing our Call of Duty Zombies map tier list, boys and girls. All right. So, this is also going to be cut up into a YouTube video. So, let me give some background, because I think a lot of YouTubers, they throw their tier lists around willy-nilly. Okay. All right. In my opinion, at least. So, first off, here's some background. I've been playing Call of Duty Zombies since World at War. Technically, I started during Modern Warfare 2's life cycle, technically, when I was 9 and 10 years old. I have played all the way up until Black Ops 4. And so, as you'll see here on this on the screen right now, all the in this specific tier list, all the non-Treyarch, all the newer like Cold War and Vanguard, stuff like that I just haven't played and I'm not rating. And also this specific one has like the Shino Numa, the Vanguard Shino Numa, and the Black Ops 3 and the Black Ops 1 Vrooked and Knocked, and stuff like that. So here's the thing too, which is important about that too. I do acknowledge that there are some upgrades to, say, the Zombie Chronicles version of Moon over the Black Ops 1 version of Moon. However, it's not a substantial change, so I will not be rating the separate versions. I will not, unless there is an actual big change, which, say like the Giant, I classify that as more of a remaster in the literal sense than a reimagining, which in my opinion is say even though I'm not going to rate it, say it is a demachine. I see that as a reimagining of an old map. Classified is a reimagining of 5, stuff like that. So I'm not gonna sit there and I'm not gonna rate stuff that I've never played, that I don't care about, that I don't like, and just put in F because, oh, I hate this, whatever. So we're gonna go down the list, boys and girls. And another thing too, I have made this into a science. So obviously we have your normal tiers, S, A, B, C, D, and F tier. So the way that I am rating these, all right, all of these are on a 1 to 5 scale. My ratings are based off of replayability. How replayable is it? Is it easy to jump onto, or is there something that specifically pulls you to play it? Whether that's the wonder weapon, whether that's the Easter egg, whether that is a certain normal weapon that you can only get on that map, whatever it is. Easter eggs / quests. Whether that's the full quest or even side Easter eggs and side notes. Obviously the first handful of maps don't have full-blown Easter egg side quests. But, the further down we go from, I'd say, Shino Numa forward, there were little things. So they won't get high ratings on that part. But, they had something there. Originality. How original is that map? From the theme, the location, the character, the features of the map. This is where Knocked through Kino, they had some points deducted slightly, I will say. And then legacy. How did this affect the legacy of the mode or even the game that it specifically was a part of? Because that's what in the new CODs the developers like to be like, for hardcore or hardcore zombie fans, there's a mystery box and a ray gun and a pack a punch, blah, 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 whatever. Shut up. So let's start out with the OG of the OG, Noctur Untoten, Night of the Dead from World at War. It's the OG, guys. It is the number 1. It is the original gangster. It is Noctur Untoten. This thing, all right, before I put it anywhere, you have to think, you have to think about what this map was. It was the first ever map for Call of Duty Zombies, at the time called Nazi Zombies, ever. And it was thrown together by a small team. You know, the zombie animations were some throwaway animations they did for campaign of people being charred with like flamethrowers, and the devs messing around in the mocap suits and whatever. No Easter egg, no crazy concepts, no perks, no pack-a-punch. None of that existed yet. None of it. It was something you unlocked when you beat the World at War campaign that was not advertised. It was not on the box. It was not in the trailers until much later on. It was not, nobody knew. And Call of Duty was a super serious, trying to be super serious, you know, depiction of war, especially World at War, which in my opinion is the grimmest and the most real ish depiction of war in the Call of Duty series, in my opinion. With that said, you can't and again, these are my personal ratings. You guys can have your own ratings. You guys can agree, disagree, whatever, you know, but this is my opinion. I don't find myself coming back to Nocturne Totem very often. Again, no real Easter egg. The only Easter egg really is the radio, where you can get it to play the music. I think it's like the Russia theme, I want to say. It does get saddled on originality by what comes next, as far as it's a German bunker, it's a German Group 935 facility, you know, all this stuff. But the legacy is number 5. It is 5 out of 5, because without this map, we would have no zombies. So I'm going to put it at C. Now, the next one, Verrückt. I'm going to be honest. I rated it in total the exact same as Nocturne Totem. Obviously, the different things are a little bit, you know, more. I do not ever find myself wanting to play Verrückt whatsoever. As a kid, as a teenager, when I was starting to make Call of Duty zombie videos, and now I go out of my way not to play Verrückt. Because it's a challenge, and unless I'm in the mood for a challenge, I just don't, you know, I just don't want to play it. Again, no real Easter eggs outside of, like, say, the dentist chair, and some the writings on the wall, which were the formulations, the basis of the Ether storyline. The originality, I give it a step up, just because the fact that it's zombies in a freaking mental asylum. That's crazy, bro. And legacy, I also give it a 5, because this is where perk-a-colas were born, brother. And they have continued through every version of Treyarch zombies, every version of zombies in one way, shape, or form to this day. So the legacy of Verrückt is there. Noct and Verrückt are tied for me. All right. So then we have Shi no Numa. I like Shi no Numa a lot. Also, a quick thing about Verrückt 2 for gameplay mechanics too. As a kid, I loved the spawning on different sides thing, because it gave you that same feeling of claustrophobia and like, I'm stuck and I'm in this situation and I don't know what's going on, as Noct did initially when you first unlocked it. And again, it was hard and you had to get the power unlocked. That was cool. Anyways, Shi no Numa. I like playing Shi no Numa. I like playing Shi no Numa a lot. I played Shi no Numa on stream a couple times. The Flogger, based. This is where we were introduced to the original 4 characters, Ultimus. This is where we got the Wunderwaffe, DG2 for the first time, Hellhounds. We were getting more story with the different radios and Peter McCain hanging and all these little things that you can, Richthofen's diary, all this stuff. You know, replayability, it's the highest so far. Still not a 5, but it's high. The Easter eggs, round 2. It's a step up from Verrückt and Nacht. Originality 4. It's not a German. It's not set in Germany. Nacht and Verrückt were both set in Germany in a bunker in a mental asylum. Shinonuma is in Japan, the Rising Sun facility. It's a change of scenery, so I give it a little bit more. And Legacy, again, like I said, this is where Hellhounds were introduced. This is where the original 4 characters were introduced. This is where the Wunderwaffe was introduced. So Shinonuma, it's gonna go up in B tier for me. It's gonna go up in B tier. I think Shinonuma's B tier map. I think people hate on Shinonuma unnecessarily. I think people allow, which this is a very important part of my rating system that I'm using for this too. I think people let what comes later detract from what was at the time. We should not be comparing, freaking Der Eisendrache to Shinonuma, or more so Der Eisendrache to Nocturne Toten, because the impact is different because they're from different periods of time in the storyline, in the evolution of the game, in the evolution of the mode. I think Shinonuma is underrated for most people. Now all right, this is where things get good. Duries. I cannot tell you. In Zenpai, Jordan, my good buddy in the chat, he's the one who introduced me to zombies. It was me going over to his house, him saying, hey, let's play through what I wore. Oh, hey, play. There's something that happens after the campaign, and then we played Nocturne Toten and Verrückt and Shinonuma, and we spent so much time on Duries. I know Duries like the back of my hand, inside my eyelids when my eyes are closed. I know this map because it's the GOAT. It's one of the greatest maps of all time, and if you disagree, you're just wrong. Okay, Duries. This is where the story started to, at this point, relatively pick up a lot more. You were able to find the little ciphers. You were able to find like the Dr. Maxis nameplate down by the teleporter by Power, the dog prints of the Hellhounds. You get the radios that show Dr. Maxis and Samantha and Richtofen, and this whole thing where you're starting to go, maybe Richtofen's not a really great guy. Maybe Richtofen's actually kind of evil. You get the introduction of the Pack-a-Punch. You get the Wunderwaffe DG2 back. Now with the Wunderwaffe DG3 JZ. This map is genuinely, how many times with how few streams we've technically done on Twitch have I booted up the Giant or Duries Declassified? I love Duries, and I especially love the World at War version of Duries. I do wish that game had, first off, I wish the Wunderwaffe didn't kill Juggernog, and I also wish that you had a bigger, one more hit. Maybe I'm a pussy. I'm just too used to Black Ops 3. Give me 3 hits. The windmill zombies on World at War, you can't knife. It's dangerous business. It's crazy. But in my opinion, Duries S tier, bro. It is S tier, and anybody who disagrees, you're wrong. I'm sorry. I can acknowledge people have their own opinions and their own things they enjoy about the game mode. However, you're wrong. Sorry, not sorry. Then we have the go to Black Ops 1, the one a lot of people got into zombies for. Kino der Toten. In fact, this was my first Black Ops 1 in Kino der Toten was my first Call of Duty I personally owned. Because otherwise, like I said, I would go over to Jordan or Zenpai's house and we would play zombies there, and we would play Modern Warfare 2 there, and we'd play, all this stuff there. I got an Xbox for Christmas. Fun fact, I had my PlayStation 2 before. It's Christmas time, and my parents, getting me the Xbox 360. What they decided to do, because my PlayStation 2 had that error where it wouldn't read discs anymore, and it was a whole big pain in the ass. So they put the PlayStation 2 in the Xbox 360 box, and so I unwrap it at Christmas time. I'm excited. I'm like, oh, I got an Xbox 360. I got an Xbox 360. This is so awesome. This is so awesome. And then I see the PlayStation 2, and I kid you not, I don't remember for sure if I did, but I know I wanted to cry. I bawled my eyes out because I'm like, why would you do this to me? This is so mean. And then they brought out the Xbox. They're like, here it is. I'm like, all right, awesome, cool. And I got Black Ops 1. I played through the campaign. I'm like, oh yeah, Kino der Toten. The first thing I did was I booted up Kino der Toten because zombies is my favorite part of Call of Duty. Always has been. I like multiplayer. I really like the Black Ops campaigns. I love zombies. Zombies is my shit. So Kino for me is high up there. Replayability, it's replayable. I can play Kino der Toten all day, every day. Easter egg, it's actually kind of a step down because Duriz at least had the flytrap Easter egg, which was in some ways kind of the first real Easter egg quest to some degree, but it gets points taken down because it's another German. Technically it's in Russia, technically, because it's by the Berlin Wall, but still legacy I put it out of 4, and I think it's because it is so well known, and the legacy of Kino der Toten is known throughout the entire Call of Duty community, whether they're zombie players, whether they're multiplayer, whether they're, people know Kino der Toten. But with that said, it's not going to hit S tier. It's not S tier. It's not the same thing as Duriz because it's retreading, because again, for those who don't know, it was originally supposed to be a DLC for World at War. Originally, Kino der Toten was. It just retreads the steps that Duriz did. You have to link the teleporter, albeit just one location this time. German theater, German location. This one, though, technically not in Germany. No. Then you have 5, which was they continued the complete the campaign and unlock thing with 5. Unless you went to the broke out the chair and went to the terminal and did the code to unlock 5 in Dead Ops Arcade beforehand. You had to complete the campaign to get it. 5, it's another challenge map like Verrucht. So it's not crazy. It's not something I necessarily find myself wanting to play, which will, again, this is the first really good example we'll get later on with Classified. Of the reimagining thing. Easter egg, there wasn't really too many Easter eggs in this map, like side Easter eggs or anything like that. I didn't like that it was an Eminem song. I love Eminem. Trust me, I'm a white kid, so of course I love Eminem. But I like the Alina Sigmund. I love the metalcore. I was like, oh man, dang it. Now the originality. It's in the fucking Pentagon. And it's with JFK and McNamara and Castro and fucking Nixon. How much more fucking original can you get, bro? But the legacy, there was a little bit of legacy because, of course, Classified happened. And, it's a reimagining of that map. But it's not high. It's not high. So I'm going to give 5. It just slightly edges out Nocturne and Verrucht. Just slightly. Because I do like the Pentagon Thief. The Winter's Howl on this game is ass. I like the teleporters. They look different. It makes you think, oh, the Americans. What are they? We've only seen the Germans and stuff like that from this point. Well, Germans and I guess technically Japanese. Like, oh, I wonder what it's different. All right. Here's another goat. Ascension. All right. Ascension, I love. I have so many memories of when it came out. PhD Flopper. You go up, you get PhD Flopper, you train in that spot, and then you dolphin dive. You use PhD Flopper. It's so goated. The first time we figured out that you could shoot and destroy the rocket as it's launching, holy shit, that was so cool. That was the coolest thing ever. And technically, this is where the first full Easter egg quest ever happened. And I remember, I might be aging myself. I was a big NGT Next Gen Tactics person, NGT Zombies person, Spider Bite, Hypermole, Meatwagon, all those guys. And when we were watching them discover the Easter egg for the first time and go through the quests and upload the steps and all this stuff. And you had Syndicate, Tom's Syndicate. You had all these guys like trying to figure it out. It was so cool. It is so cool. Replayability. It's not a 5, it's a 4, but it's super replayable for me. Easter egg, again, a 4. There's better Easter eggs, but it's still the first, and it was revolutionary. The originality. We're in Russia again, technically, but it's a Cosmodrome, which is cool. I think that's really fucking cool. So it's gonna get a 4 there, and then the legacy, I'm gonna take it down to a 3. There's not a lot of legacy of Ascension you really have. Like, I would say the biggest thing is still the First Strike poster, and you know, I think it's is it Groff or Schuster or one of them? It's been a while. Are the guy on the poster, and it's not Richtofen, and that was something we found out way later. But it's actually tied with Kino for me personally. Call of the Dead. I'm a big fan of Call of the Dead. I really do like it. And this is another thing too. I think people need to realize. I would say people need to realize A and B tier still are good maps. Are still like, even C tier are good maps, but they're just not the best of the best. It's when you get to D and F, that's when it's like, all right, these are objectively bad maps. Okay, like not fun. I don't want to play them ever. That's where Call of Duty Vanguard would be if I was rating it, because that whole game is just trash. So is Ghosts, and so is Infinite Warfare and Advanced Warfare. You know, keep my opinions to myself, I suppose. Anyways, Call of the Dead. So it has a little bit. George is unique, but he's also annoying to deal with sometimes. So that's one of the big things for me that always kept me from replaying it, like having that much more replayability personally. Easter egg quest was really fun. It was really, really fun. It doesn't have like that crazy. It doesn't have that crazy next level of Easter eggs that obviously the later maps will. But I mean, it was still a fun Easter egg. You have the original 4 stuck in there. You have the celebrity cast. Originality, I give it a 4. The legacy, a 2. You know, TOG technically was the final map. So Call of the Dead remake was technically the final map in Zombies. So there's some legacy there, but you know, it's there. So I'm gonna give it C tier. It's gonna go. Yeah, it's gonna go right in front of 5, in my opinion. So we have Shangri-La, another challenge map, another map that some people just straight up don't like. All right. I think Shangri-La, when you get into that like hardcore gameplay loop and like liking the harder challenge maps and stuff like that, it is one of the best of those maps, in my opinion. The issue is that doesn't make it super replayable unless you're going for that challenge, which most players, and most of the time for me, especially nowadays, I'm not. I'm just trying to chill out and hang out. My challenge is mostly, you know, the round 100 and occasionally doing the Easter eggs for old time's sake. Which, speaking of, Easter egg, goated. Love this Easter egg. I love the Brock and Gary subplot. them going back in time with the eclipse. You're trying to save Brock and Gary, and you're like learning more and more about it. And then, you know, Richtofen's a god to the locals, and maybe Shangri-La, according to Tagdar Toten, is on Mars or on Mars's moon. Who knows? You know, it's awesome. It's a great map. Originality. It takes some of the inspirations from Shino Numa, but it's still different. It's still different, which I like. And Legacy, not a lot of Legacy with Shangri-La. We don't really find ourselves going back to it that often. There was the reporter thing, I think in Revelations, or no, that was Call the Dead, I think. You know, I don't know. It is C tier. I'm gonna put it right by 5, in my opinion. Then we have Moon, the finale of Black Ops 1. All right. Especially Black Ops 1 version of Moon. All right. It's cool how accurate, I would say, the Black Ops 1 version of how desolate and quiet and alone you feel on the moon is. Black Ops 3 with the, you know, the revamps and, you know, Zombie Chronicles kind of took that away a little bit, which for playing the game long term, especially around 100, I think is good. However, you know, Black Ops 1, when you're just sitting there, you're playing by yourself, and especially if you're like camping, it's because it's all gray. There's no color. There's nothing keeping my brain freaking prepared and wanting to be awake the whole time. However, I do like the PES system. Especially, I love the hacker. I think the hacker is the greatest thing. I think it should have been in more maps, personally. I liked the No Man's Land thing. I really do think they should took a trick out of Black Ops 2 book early and made that into its own mode. I think that would have been awesome. I think that would have been great. I love that the challenge with that of, oh, can I get Jug? Can I upgrade the Mustangs and Sally's before I have to go to the moon? Go to the moon. The spaceman, he's a little fucking annoying. However, the gamer tag thing I think is cool, especially the Black Ops 1 version where it actually uses your friends list. You know, definitely some of those moments of, you know, some lost friends and some friends I haven't talked to in a long time, and they haven't came online in a long time, and I see their gamer tag above. I'm like, peace out, homie. You know, I miss you, homie. So for me, Moon is A tier. It is. Moon is and I didn't even get to the Easter egg, actually. Holy shit. Hold on. Moon is A tier because that Easter egg is the first 2-part Easter egg we've ever had, where you can do the first half, but you can't do the second half unless you completed Shangri-La and Call the Dead. You get the gold rod at the focusing stone. Richtofen's grand scheme, it was 2 games, technically 1.5 games if you want to be serious, 1.5 game worth of build-up to this big moment that Call of Duty has never touched since. Because how can you top blowing up the fucking Earth from the moon, and you have Richtofen switching bodies with Samantha in the MPD? How can you top that? The wave gun is goated. The QED, it's all right. Depending on what effect it gives, because it's random. The Gersh device, back from Ascension, goated. I love the Gershes. Moon, it's A tier, and I think it's actually the top of A tier, in my opinion. The Easter egg does a lot, because I would say for me, replayability, Kino and Ascension are definitely higher. I actively seek out playing Kino and Ascension more often than I do Moon. But that Easter egg quest, and I know this says Black Ops 3, but you know, we're doing the Black Ops 1 version. It's untouchable, in my opinion. And this is This is where things get bumpy. This is where things get bumpy, guys. Transit. All right. I've told this story a couple times on stream. When this map came out, and again, this was the only map. You know, obviously they had the survival maps, which will also... They don't have Bus Depot on this for some reason, but I'm still gonna rate that. This was the only map we had. All right. After 2 years. And I'm like, all right. And there's good parts of transit. There truly is good parts of transit. But God, it's so shit. It is so shit. And you can again ask Jordan or Zenpai in chat. I forced us to play that. Instead of going back and just playing Black Ops 1, instead of playing Town or Farm or, you know, Nuketown or anything like that, I forced us to play Transit. I wanted to play Transit. Because I'm like, there's got to be a reason why this map just isn't clicking with me. Why is it not clicking? I've loved every map that's been out since. And I forced myself to think I loved this map, and it was so revolutionary, and in some ways it was. But God, this map is so shit. I do not think I will ever play Transit ever again. I do not think I will. The closest I came was that custom map we played on that came out recently. That's sort of kind of, you know, not really Transit, but you know, whatever. One, on replayability. I don't ever want to play Transit ever. Easter egg 2, it was cool. You had the two sides. You had to pick Richtofen or Maxis. Originality, yeah, it gets a 3. I mean, it's cool, you know. It's what we made. You know, we blew up the Earth, and this is what we have to deal with. And we got Ted, who's rolling around on the bus. And Legacy, I'm gonna put add 2. Not much has came from Transit. I think the entire Victus crew is shit. I hate the Victus crew. All my homies hate the Victus crew. They're fucking annoying. They suck. They're horrible. And almost every map they're in is just horrible. I hate them. I can't believe they decided to use them in the final map of this storyline. Holy shit. This is bad. So bad. But again, there is that factor of with friends. And especially when you could do the 8-player glitch, where there was fun to be had on Transit. There, you know, even the worst maps, if you had friends and you have people with you, you can bring it up a little bit. However, Transit is fucking D tier, bro. Transit, it's not the worst. It's not the worst, trust me. We'll get to that in a second. But Transit is one of the worst maps ever created. All right. Town. I don't think I need to say much. Town is part of Green Run, Transit, whatever the fuck you want to call it. It's the best part. Except for in Transit, where there's no fucking wall weapons. So fucking stupid. But in Town, the survival map version, you have Pack-a-Punch, you have wall weapons everywhere, you have perks, you have Galvanuckles, you got the mystery box, you got everything you need. It's good, classic survival map. Farm, I think, is doo-doo. I actually think it's actually worse than Transit. I fucking hate this map. I never will play Farm ever again. I think I downloaded a Black Ops 3 custom map that was just Farm. I shut it off within 2 minutes. It's fucking boring. Sucks. Horrible. And again, it's not here, but Bus Depot. The thing that's interesting about Bus Depot, all right, and by the way, it is an F tier. It is an F tier. The thing I when I was doing this, I looked at the score I gave Nocturne Totem, because in essence they're the same thing. They are a bare bones, stripped down, no pack-a-punch, no perks. Technically, you know, ray gun, you know, all that, whatever. The issue is, and why it's not going to get C tier like Noct and Verruct, is because there's no legacy there. The legacy of Nocturne Totem was, it's the first zombies map ever. It's what created this whole fucking thing. Verruct, you got perks. All that stuff. Bus Depot doesn't have that. F tier, I will never play Bus Depot ever again. Then that brings us to Nuketown Zombies. This is controversial because some people love Nuketown Zombies. I don't mind it. I think it's weak though. I think it is a D tier. I rate it the same as Farm, but I would prefer to play Nuketown over playing Farm. My opinion. And this is where we're almost there. We're almost there to the golden age, chat. Die Rise. Holy fuck. Mr. T-Lexify and all the guys who are making Die Rise Remastered for Black Ops 3, you got your work cut out for you because this map is so fucking shit. This map fucking sucks ass. I hate this fucking map. This map is so god awful. It's horrible. It's not fun. I like the originality, at least, of the... It's a vertical map, which in gameplay and replayability comes to bite it in the butt because it's a horrible vertical map. And the Slickifire is cool. I like the Slickifire. Easter egg is the same fucking Easter egg you've been doing. Richtofen Max's load of fucking Spire. Don't care. Victus Crew, don't care. Get this away from me. F tier. F tier. Die Rise sucks. And all these fucking like Johnny J and all these Die Rise apologists, get the fuck out. Get out. Don't care. It's bad. It's bad. Quit lying to yourself. Now we hit the golden age, chat. We hit the golden age, bro. Okay. Mob of the fucking dead, bro. This map. Oh, this map is... God, I love it. Replayability. It's a 4. It's the most simple, complex map, in my opinion, of especially the Jimmy Zielinski era. Okay, because some people it's like, oh, it's a laundry list, a laundry list thing. But the fucking steps are literally on the loading screen and in the fucking spawn. Get the parts for the plane, fly the plane over to Pack a Punch, do the fucking steps over and over again. It's that fucking easy. It's that easy. And the ambiance and the mobster characters and the whole story of Mob of the Dead being purgatory and this torment for these characters. And when you'd go down, the characters would talk to themselves and they'd reflect on their life and the bad things they've done and all this extra character that we never had before. Because before, the Ultimates crew was all funny. Call of the Dead crew, funny, but they're celebrities, whatever. 5, funny. And then you just get hit in the fucking gut with the mobsters from Mob of the Dead. And then the Easter egg is so cool, especially at the last part where you have to either kill Weasel or Weasel kills the others to break the cycle. And that was when the cycle was first officially mentioned. Although, you're just saying this, blah, blah, blah. No, I always thought, personally, that it was some sort of cycle, because it only makes sense that it is, because the characters knew things that they shouldn't have, and also it's the gameplay loop. You spawn in, you get ranked up, you go through some of the quest, you die, you respawn. It just made sense to me. It just made sense. So Mob of the Dead, however, the one point, it's a 5 on everything except for replayability for me. And I know it's sacrilegious, I know. It's a 4 on replayability just because it is a quest one. And again, as you'll see, a lot of my top maps, they are more simple. I don't have to get a laundry list to be able to know. And that's the one thing, because sometimes I just don't want to deal with that. I just want to boot up zombies and shut my brain off. So Mob of the Dead, it is the top of A tier. It is literally 1 point away from being S tier for me. But it's just a little too, you have to do too much, and you have to know too much, and the game doesn't explain a lot of things to you. So, the finale of the Ultimus Victus, original sort of storyline that went from World at War to Black Ops 2 and Buried, technically. That gets picked up again later, technically. Buried. I think Buried is a fun map. Super really replayable. I love the Paralyzer. It's a better version of the jet gun. I love the Time Bomb. I think that's cool. I love Leroy and all the different things you can do with him, both that help you and also make things more challenging for you. Witches are cool. They're not too crazy annoying. They spawn weirdly sometimes, and you end up losing your points, but whatever. I think Buried is really cool. I love the ambiance. I love how the underground sort of look. So it is also, in my opinion, an A tier, right under Moon. I like Buried a little bit more than Kino and Ascension, in my opinion. And then the finale of Black Ops 2, the start of really, the start of something wonderful. So the start of something great. And Origins is that. However, again, it's going to be controversial. I know it is. Origins on replayability is a 3. It is even lower than Mob of the Dead on replayability for me. Because Origins is that much more of a chore, and the game doesn't explain things to you. And even though it's a revolutionary map, even though it has a lot of great features, and trust me, it gets points on everything else. It is a 5 on Easter egg. It is a 5 on originality. It is a 5 on legacy. But it's just, the mud is so fucking annoying. I don't want to deal with it. And then everything, you have to build all 4 stabs for the Easter egg. It's fucking annoying, bro. It's annoying. And we're gonna come back to this in a couple maps because of Dreisendrach. All right. There's gonna be some things I'm gonna say that some people might think are sacrilegious, but it's my truth. I'm living my truth. I'm speaking my truth. I can't do anything otherwise. It's an A tier map. Trust me. Mob of the Dead is better, in my opinion. Mob of the Dead is better. A lot of times I would actually prefer to play Moon, Buried, Kino, Ascension, and even Shino Numa over Origins. But the legacy and the Easter egg and all that stuff, it carries. It carries it. It's just, I got to be in a mood to play it. I got to be in a mood. And that brings up another one. Shadows of Evil, the first map on Black Ops 3. I've always loved this map. I actually thought when the game came out and people were complaining about how complex it is, blah, 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 I was like, are you guys fucking stupid? You do the 3 rituals. You go into the Pack-a-Punch area. You do the things, defeat the Shadow Man, and you have fucking Pack-a-Punch. It's not that fucking complicated. It's really not. And then you get the bonus of, if you want to seek out the sword, and especially the sword upgrade, the shield, you got Widow's Wine, a new perk, all this stuff. The ambiance of this map carries it heavy. And the Apothecan's Servant also carries it. Apothecan's Servant, as we're going to see in Revelations today on round 100, is the fucking GOAT. And I wish they never fucking patched out the upgrade on Shadows of Evil. Replayability, Shadows is 4, just because there is a little bit of that chore list there. Easter egg, it's a 4. It's not the best Easter egg ever. It's actually really not, actually. When I think about it more, but it's cool. You have the little thing. You go through the whole step and everything like that, and the keeper has the summoning key, and then fucking last gen Richtofen pops out and is like, oh, thanks for all that. See ya. Fuck you. Bye. Goated Richtofen. Originality, it's a 5. and it's sort of somewhat based on Chicago too, which is awesome. I fucking love Chicago. Legacy 3, it's in the pocket dimension that Mob the Dead is. Obviously the Shadow Man and only the cursed will survive, and Beast Mode, which is just, it loses points on originality. Well, I guess technically it didn't in my thing, but Beast Mode is just a rebrand of Afterlife from Mob the Dead. Still an A tier map. But it's just not quite. It's not quite like its brother, Mob of the Dead. It's not. All right. Now this is where either people are gonna super agree with me, or they're gonna get really mad about it. But I don't really give a fuck. It's fuck you. Dreisendrach. I think Dreisendrach is the greatest map in Call of Duty Zombies. And here's why, okay? Remember, this is 2008, 2009 technically is when Duriz came out, okay? 2008, 2009 is when that came out. All right. Through all these maps so far, Duriz has remained my favorite map of all time because it's so easy to play, it's so fun, there's little Easter eggs, there's little story parts, because even though I am, you can look at this and you could say that, I'm a World at War and Black Ops 1 enjoyer, so I do like a more simplified gameplay loop, but I also like some challenge, and I also like some, obviously story was my big thing. I love the storyline and trying to figure it out and learn about different things in World War II and the Cold War and stuff like that I never would have learned, without Call of Duty Zombies. This map, takes everything from Origins, okay? Takes everything from Origins, for sure. And it loses that point in originality for that. But it's just better. It is truly a hybrid of Origins and Moon, where it's not the same high. The ending is not the same high as Moon. It is slightly down because we already somewhat saw this. We saw us blow up the Earth. This time we blew up the Moon in this universe. And so you lose a point because, all right, I've seen this. It's still epic. It's still cool. It's still awesome. But okay, I've seen it before. I've seen this movie before. All right, cool. The thing on the Easter egg that gets it is the boss fight. This is the first map with a boss fight in it. And me and D2 Dane, my good buddy Dane, we spent so many hours trying to beat this Easter egg, trying to beat this boss fight. And the feeling I had when we finally beat it was otherworldly. I've completed Easter eggs since Ascension, technically since Duriz, technically. This was a whole other level. You have the 4 bows, which, go like the 4 stabs and Origins, but they're not a pain in the ass to fucking build. And they're actually worth using and upgrading, and it's fun. And you have the different enemies. You have the Panzer, which doesn't have the fucking claw, which is annoying as shit. I fucking hate the claw. You can actually get the claw as a hat. Goated. I think this map is the fucking greatest map of all time. I can play Dreisendrach all day, every day. We already did round 100 on it. It's the fucking GOAT. It's a fucking GOAT in my opinion. All right. This is a bump. This is a bump in what I would call, since Mob of the Dead, the golden age, in my opinion, of Call of Duty Zombies, in my opinion. Zetsubo no Shima. I fucking hate this map. It is a 1 on replayability. It's not as bad as Die Rise, but I don't want to play Zetsubo no Shima. It is the worst of you have all this stuff. I admit, when you do all the different quests and you get the Skull and Sapwe and you get the KT4 and the upgraded KT4 and all this stuff, I admit, when you get that stuff, it's cool, and the gameplay of that does take it up a level. But the issue is getting that fucking list done. It is so fucking annoying. It's just not a fun quest to do. Both the Easter egg as well as just the quest to get your, truly set up. It's one of the few maps I don't necessarily know if we'll do around 100 on, because I don't like the map. I do not enjoy it whatsoever. I don't care. KT4 is a good wonder weapon. I just don't want to go through the pain in the ass to fucking unlock it. I really don't. On Easter egg, again, 3, it's cool. I think I was a big Tank Dempsey enjoyer. I love Tank. I would probably say it goes Tank, it goes Richtofen, Nikolai, and then Takiao. Of the original 4, I should say. Of the characters I enjoyed the most in Call of Duty Zombies. And I specifically actually remember in Moon, after they blow up the moon, there was a quote when me and Jordan had completed the Easter egg for the first time, where Takiao does this whole thing of, I will seek out Group 935 and destroy them. I'm like, oh, okay, Takiao's gonna be the leader in the next game. And then, we never saw this version of those characters until fucking Classified. This was another one where Takiao's the end cutscene is one of my favorites of all time, and it's super emotional, and especially for a character that relatively not a lot of people liked. Not a lot of people liked Ultimus Takiao. Not a lot of people did. I know. When he fucking talks, I'm like, shut up, Takiao. I don't give a fuck. Shut up. I don't care about honor. I don't care about any of that shit. But it's really good on that front. Originality, kind of, it's a lot of Shino Numa vibes. There's a lot of new stuff as far as like the manglers and like kind of the overgrown and all that stuff. Cool, I like that. You can get Takiao's sword in this. Get that other. There's another weapon in the box that's only in this map. That's really fun to use too. It's a D tier map. It's a D tier map. Yeah, I would rather play Transit than I would rather play Zetsubo no Shima. All right, we pick back up. Gorod Krovi. Replayability, it's a 4. I love playing this map. It's so fun. I really do love playing it. The Easter egg is really cool. I like the end cutscene with Takiao, or I'm sorry, with Nikolai. I like, again, showing the cycle with Nikolai's had this bullet hole in his chest the whole time. That's from this cutscene, and it explains the cycle a little bit more and things turning over into the next cycle and whatever. They just out of the blue decided to fucking introduce Dr. Monty in the second to last fucking map in this game. What the fuck? Dragons, cool as shit. The dragon shield, fucking love. The ray gun Mark III, awesome. Love it. Love that wonder weapon. So cool. Gorod Krovi, it's A tier. I think it's around Moon. Okay, no. It's right under Moon. Okay, alright. Moon and Shadows. Alright, cool. Alright. Then we have the map we're going to be playing here in just a couple more minutes, chat. We have Revelations. I'm going to be honest. This map is C tier, chat. This map is C tier. There's fun parts to be had. There are fun parts to be had on this map because, again, you have the spawn area, but then everything else is a retread of the old maps, which obviously hurt it in originality. You have Kino, you have the stage area in Kino, you have the pyramid room in Der Eisendrache, you have Verrucht, the power room in Verrucht, in the courtyard. You have Shangri-La. Is there another one? Origins. You have the Origins in the kitchen for Mob of the Dead. And then you have the Apothecary Servant, which can be upgraded. The issue is they needlessly made this fucking Easter egg a pain in the ass. So an Easter egg, it's a fucking one. You had to fucking shoot fucking rocks, random rocks in the fucking sky. What the fuck? What? And there's no prompt. There's no, oh, what's that in the sky? Nothing. So, this is one of the longest Easter eggs to complete because, Treyarch and Jason Blundell decide, hey, fuck you, pal. We're gonna make this stupid hard for no fucking reason. I like the big Apothecary worm thingy. I can't remember what they're actually called. And the pack punches inside of it. And I really love playing inside that area because it's a nice training area and everything like that. You get the different enemies that spawn too naturally in that area. Really fun. Really fun. In my opinion. All right. In my opinion, this is the best map of Black Ops 4. All right. 9. Chaos storyline. I love 9. I think the little scorpion weapon, it's not the best wonder weapon. I wish it got buffed actually, but it's really good, especially upgraded. I like the shield in this map. The biggest hurdle is obviously that it's Black Ops 4. The Black Ops 4 gameplay loop just fucking sucked dick. Yeah, I really, again, same as Black Ops 2 with Transit. I sat there and I remember the first time I played Black Ops 4. And I went, oh no. Oh no. This was before I was seeing the YouTubers blue screen and all this stuff. I'm like, oh no, it's happening again. I'm like, oh God, no, this isn't going to be good. But 9 is the standout fucking example. 9 is fucking one of the best. I would argue one of the best maps ever. The issue is the legacy. And that's what you're gonna see in all these maps. The legacy of the Chaos maps is gonna be a 1 or a 2 because there is no continuation of the Chaos storyline. Technically, I guess, supposedly they brought the Sentinel artifact or something. They mentioned Alistair Rhodes or whatever in one of the newer games. I don't care. Don't play those games. Don't care. Could not care less. Jason Blundell always said they were gonna be separate. Fuck him. I don't care. So 9 is going to go in A tier. I'm going to put it right here. Technically, they're the same, but, I'd rather play Gorod, Crovey, Moon, Origins, and Mob the Dead, technically. But I'd play 9 over Shadows and Buried and Kino and Ascension. Then we have... Hold on, chat. Hold on, chat. There's only one way I can describe it. Let me just go ahead and I think this speaks for itself.
And I've got to say, in all honesty, it's the biggest piece of dog shit that I have ever heard.
The Rock be speaking facts, bro. The Rock be speaking fucking facts on that one, bro. I don't like this map. I think this map is needlessly complicated for no fucking reason. I love that it's on the Titanic. I think it's cool. I think it's a cool situation. I remember when the reveal event happened. I'm like, oh, that's so cool. It's so cool. We're going to the Titanic. And, they talked about how realistic it is and how they went down to every little detail. But unfortunately, that meant gameplay wise that the fucking map just was not fun to play. Originality again for Legacy, it's chaos. It's a 1. It's a 1. I actually rate this the same as Zetsubo no Shima. I would rather shoot myself than play Zetsubo or Voyage of Despair. I do not care. I don't like the Wonder Weapon. I think the Wonder Weapon sucks. Not fun. Oh, and then the beginning of the end. Beginning of the end. I'm actually gonna call an audible on this. Oh, because of the fact I actually have the next two. I'm going to switch the next two, actually, from what I have on my list here. Blood of the Dead. All right. You have people going and getting behind the news and being like, remaster Mob of the Dead. We want Mob of the Dead. We want Mob of the Dead. And these fuckers just make the biggest pile of dog shit. It's still okay. Again, like I said, up to C tier is still a relatively good map. But going from the top of A, bordering S tier, Mob of the Dead was 1 point away for me from being S tier to C tier, bro. What a fucking downgrade. What a fucking downgrade, dude. It's just not fun. I tried to transit it. I tried to force myself to like it. I don't like it. It's broken. There's a lot of the things that came back from Mob of the Dead are worse. The moving Pack-a-Punch with no way of knowing where it is just sucks. Just fucking sucks. The Easter egg was pretty cool. I loved what they did with the Easter egg. I thought that was cool, especially the obviously the ending cutscene. One of the first times I've ever cried to Call of Duty Zombies. I was crying in the club chat. I can't lie. I was crying in the club. Then we get Dead of the Night. Or I'm sorry. Oh fuck. We have Classified. This was the one I told you guys earlier in the video. Watch. All right. I think it is a B tier. I think it is such a improvement over 5. It is such a improvement over 5. It opens up more areas. It gives you a little bit more room to breathe. You get that niceness of it's been 2 games since we played as the Ultimus crew, and this is technically after Moon, and you're like, oh my god, this is so fun and so awesome. They buffed the Winter's Howl, thank god. It's actually usable. Still not great, but it's usable. You get No Man's Land from Moon back. Easter egg thing for high rounds was a little bit weird. Whatever. I really enjoy playing Classified. Like, I've actually had hankerings to play Classified recently. Like, I think I might. Dead of the Night. This map literally dropped in the dead of the night. No trailer. No announcement. It just showed up on the PlayStation Store. It's all right. I don't like playing it. I think it's too complicated. Way too complicated. Again, the thing with these maps and the thing about Blundell, all right, is when you complete all the complicated shit, the map is good. It's fun. But the issue is going through that process. And a lot of casual people I know, and even me, who's a hardcore fan, I don't want to do it. I don't want to go through it. It's a D tier. I'd rather play Transit and Nuketown, personally. Ancient Evil. This is... Let me actually look at them. Is this the... No, okay. Ancient Evil is one of the best maps in the Chaos storyline. 9 beats it out. I'll admit that. But it is one of the best. I love the gauntlets. I like the Easter egg quest. I love, obviously, the theme and the originality around that. It sucks that it was a cliffhanger and that we never got any sort of resolution when this was the map where people were like, oh, this is really cool. Cause you had Bruno and Shaw, like, they're part of the cult and whatever. So cool. I really enjoy playing Ancient Evil. I like the gameplay loop of it. the challenge thing too. I like it. And then we get to the steaming pile. That is the last 2 maps in the Ether storyline. Mind you, again, a 10 going on 11 at that time year storyline. I'm gonna keep what was just about to say. I'm gonna keep that for Tog. Okay. Alpha Omega. It's a remake of fucking Nuketown. It's not very good. The best part is Rushmore. I think it is a slight improvement on Nuketown Zombies because you get more area and you get more. I hate the elemental ray guns. I hate that the jumping jack, electric jacks, whatever they're fucking called in this version. Nova 6 crawler guys are back. I fucking hated that. It's not good. Not fun. Not fun at all. All right. So, final map on the tier list, chat. All right. Tog der Toten, a reimagining of Call of the Dead. A nice play of words. The first ever map, Nacht der Toten, was Night of the Undead. Tag der Toten, Day of the Dead. It's nice. I don't really like this map. I'm gonna be honest. They buffed the scavenger, which was nice. They made that weird Wonderwaff sniper thing. I think that was fucking a mistake. The Easter egg was so thrown together. You have the Victus crew, the worst crew ever. There was some cool parts. There was some cool parts. But it's just not my cup of tea. It's not what I would do for the end of a 10+ year storyline. And I know everything we've learned, they didn't have much choice. They had to throw things together. They had to take assets from Blackout and fucking make shit happen. I get it. The thing I always point to, okay, is Marvel Studios and the MCU, okay? Iron Man, technically, you can even say the Incredible Hulk, technically, came out in 2008. What also came out in 2008? World at War. So, zombies and the MCU started in the same year, all right? And in my opinion, Infinity War and Endgame, they had not only fan service, but they were genuine, great endings, quote unquote, to the MCU. If you decided, okay, I've had my fill, I'm done. I'm not gonna, like me, after Endgame, I stopped being super hardcore about it. I stopped looking for leaks. I stopped looking at little character things of, what are they adapting? What are they working on behind the scenes? I don't pay attention to that anymore because I got my moment as a comic book fan. I got my Avengers Assemble. I got the Thanos, the Infinity Gauntlet, the Snap. I got it all. It's awesome. I love it. And in that same time period, you go from the high of Black Ops 3, which had Zombie Chronicles, which was amazing, and it was a love letter from Treyarch to the fans. It was here's everything. Here's what we've been working on. Here's some extra content for a game that technically we shouldn't be working on right now, but we wanted to. We wanted all these classic zombie maps reimagined, remastered, I should more say, here on this one game. It's the ultimate zombies game. If you want Call of Duty Zombies, this is the best game, especially on PC. To go from that, where you get the CG trailers, you get all this hype, and even Black Ops 4's launch event, reveal event, Zombies was at the forefront of everything, to barely moving comic cutscenes and convoluted just remakes is all Black Ops 4 was. All the end of the Ether story, it went out on a wet fart, unfortunately, which makes me sad because Call of Duty Zombies is something I hold very close to me. I genuinely love this mode, and that's why that's why whenever they did that first like Exo Zombies, I said, it's not for me. I don't care. I don't count that. World War II, I don't count that. Infinite Warfare, honorable mention. Zombies in Spaceland is actually A tier. Just an honorable mention. Yeah, Zombies in Spaceland is an A tier. Just gonna say that. Cold War. I mean, I have. Hold on, let me pull it up. I have 3.5 hours on Cold War. I only have Cold War because Dane bought it for me a couple months ago, and we played it together. And I said, "Yeah, I don't like this." Vanguard. We don't talk about Vanguard. Yeah. I said it. COD. This year's COD 2024. I'm not expecting much. My expectations are below. They're in the basement. I'm just honest. Because it's not the same Treyarch as Black Ops 3 or Black Ops 2 or Black Ops 1 or World at War. It's not the same Treyarch, and that's what some people need to realize. So if this COD 2024, Gulf War, whatever it's called, if the Zombies is not good in this game, Zombies is the only attachment I had to Call of Duty left. And I'm going to move on. I'm not going to play Call of Duty except for, the old games and the games that I enjoy. So, but yeah, that's my tier list. If you're watching this over on YouTube, let me know your guys' thoughts. Do you agree with some things? Do you disagree? Give me your guys' ratings. Give me your guys' ratings again, 1 to 5 scale. I based it on replayability, Easter egg, quests, originality, and legacy. Let me know your guys' thoughts down below.